We'll keep an eye on the math, but for now, it is round 13. We head to the Hungaroring in Hungary to, I think this is the last round before the summer break, which is a-okay by us. We're coming off of another fabulous 1-2 by Haas. Pierre taking another win on the season. Mick overtaking George Russell, who had put up a really good fight the entire way through, to take his, I don't know how many second step of the podiums tonight. We are currently doubling up Red Bull in the constructors. Pierre and Mick are the 1-2 in the drivers, with Pierre 50 points ahead of Mick on the season. We're flying, and we're almost there. We're almost there to our first titles for Haas. We'll start here with Pierre, who has a development points. I'm going to go ahead and throw that into his we'll throw it into his reactions. Anyone else have a dev point? Staff included. It looks like Alessandro Sanelli has one. We'll go ahead and throw that into his medium speed downforce. That feels like a good one to throw that into. No race engineer stuff. We are still working tire changes for our pit crew. I think we talked about that, but that will be next. But we'll do our race prep for the Hungaroring. We'll do 2 into Q2, pretty standard stuff. We'll do 2 into the top 6 for qualifying, again pretty standard stuff. Finished position 2 in the top 6 again. We finished our last finished position streak. We start a new one, and our qualifying position streak should wrap up here at the Hungaroring as well. Both Mercedes, wow, large group going first. Verstappen out. I'm gonna get Mick out, and then Pierre as well. Should they get a clean lap, should be a relatively simple first session as always, and it looks like we will. Go ahead and bang this out, and that'll be our session done. Look at that. Mick lacking a bit of pace again. I know this isn't exactly Mick's best style, but realistically, you probably shouldn't be 4.5 tenths off of your teammate here. But nonetheless, that'll be good enough to get us through. Looks like Verstappen is back to his normal form, it would seem. Alrighty then, there we go. Be pretty simple stuff. We'll watch it at 8 times speed. Mick had a best last sector on his outlap. Love to see it. Mick comes through, easily jumps out. Pierre still top of the board. Nothing too surprising here, to say the least. Honestly, we're gonna watch Mick this time. I feel like we always watch Pierre, but Pierre has the pace anyway. We will hop on board with the young Schumacher and see what Mick can do here at the Hungaroring on his final lap of Q3 in the most dominant car, the most dominant Haas car the universe has ever seen. He goes the yellow first sector. That is not a good sign, Mick. That is not a good sign at all. Mick for some reason just like randomly just loses pace compared to Pierre, who bangs in a purple sector on an already really fast lap that he's already set. So he already is on pole. Yeah, he's already on pole, but can he bang in an even better lap as Mick will come up and cross the line? Does improve, but once again, not enough. Does that break our quali sponsor guarantee? I think it might. I think it's top 6. That's tough. Mick, I don't know where you lost half a second to Pierre, but we got to get that figured out, because that's a little unacceptable. I'm not even gonna lie. 1 stop. I guess we'll see if Mick can make up the difference, but 2 stop for Mick, medium and soft. 1 stop for Pierre, who's starting on pole. Let's get it. Hungarian Grand Prix. Can we lodge another win?
Quite a few clouds overhead as we look at the lineup on the grid.
There is quite a few clouds, but that's not going to stop us as Pierre starts on pole.
Hungarian Grand Prix.
A lot of softs out there. I'm seeing a lot of softs. I'm seeing, okay, so they're going to all on the 2 stop more than likely.
And away we go.
All right, the start for Pierre here is going to be key. If we can get a good start and negate the soft tire runners, we're gonna have to go a long way around. We do maintain the lead over George Russell. Mick trying to stay ahead of Leclerc, does so, dives down the inside of Verstappen actually. Tire check. Verstappen on softs, Sainz on softs, Leclerc also on softs, all used. We are and should be flying. Beautiful stuff. Mick has made up a couple of positions, potentially trying to have another one down the inside of Valtteri Bottas. Ooh, just not enough. I think at this point we're just pressuring Valtteri a little bit. We're not probably seriously contending for the spot, but potentially around the outside, down the inside once again. Oh, Mick, a man after my own heart. He really doesn't come through for us in quali, but makes up 3 positions into P4 behind Carlos Sainz, who is on the softs. And so Mick has a great chance here for the track position battle over the Ferrari, since they are both on the 2-stop strategy. And George Russell might be on the 1-stop. I'm not sure as of now, but he does have Carlos Sainz to contend with in the grand scheme of things, and so that should slow them down a little bit. Mick, we're going to save fuel now. Pierre also, we're going to drop down on fuel. 2-second buffer to George Russell, and George Russell, Carlos Sainz, Mick, Bottas, Verstappen, Leclerc, Ricardo, Perez, Doohan, Norris, and then Kevin Magnussen is the one who loses out on DRS at this point, and that's probably where the biggest divide is going to start generating in this one. As you can see there, 1.3 second gap between Magnussen and Norris, but from there it is a DRS train all the way to George Russell up there in P2. And Mick dangerously close from losing out to DRS from Sainz, but he is on the soft compound tire, and so all Mick needs to do is effectively just survive. And I think the soft, hard, medium 2-stop, I mean, you were stopping relatively quickly on the softs. I mean, looking at that last stint that we're doing on the softs, I mean, you're really only looking at doing 15 laps on the softs, because I mean, even 5 laps in, especially on a U set of softs, the tires are going to be wearing out much quicker than you would want, especially at a circuit that requires much more grip, like the Hungaroring. So I think Mick is going to be winning the battle of track position and strategy here, because we're gonna have more pace overall than the 1-stoppers, and we'll have the better strategy and track position to everyone doing the 2-stop. So a great start to this one, as Sainz making a move on one Russell George. Is George Russell going to have enough to hold off the Ferrari? I know Pierre and I would love for him to do so. It looks like he did. The longer the Ferrari sits behind George Russell on the mediums, the better, because we're negating the strength of the soft tire, which is the raw pace that it does indeed provide. So George Russell been a beautiful man, trying to defend from the Ferrari as long as possible, but it looks like the Ferrari is finally going to get past here, but with a 3-second gap up ahead. Even then, Pierre ran a faster lap. I think this is going to be the first instance of what is this pace going to look like, and will Pierre withstand the onslaught of the soft tire as Carlos is able to make his way forward enough to get past the Mercedes here. So we'll see. Pierre is rounding the final corner right now. Up to the line, runs a 120.99. Carlos immediately comes back with a 126.7. Tire check, he's on 71% softs, Pierre on the 86% medium, so he gained about 3/10 on that lap. So we're looking at about 10 laps until he's on us, or about 7 laps, 6 to 7 laps until he's in DRS range. But at the same time, Carlos is being hounded by everyone else, so that may continue to slow him up defending against everyone behind. And there really is going to be that window that the softs work, rather than, you know, really truly having the raw pace. I mean, we can look at, is it, yeah, expected strategies. I mean, you're looking to pit lap 14 to 20 already on lap 9. You're pitting in the next 5 laps. I think the soft tire start for Carlos is lost out, especially now that he has returned to behind the silver arrow of George Russell. Yeah, I think Carlos's race, at least compared to everyone else, is kind of in the mud at this point. The next closest, though, soft runner is Verstappen down there in P6. I mean, only, you know, 2 seconds behind him, but I think that's realistically what we're gonna be looking at. As Mick makes the move, tried to make the move on. As all of a sudden Mick doesn't get DRS. Did I read that right? Why does Mick not have DRS? Was it, did he like cross the line right at like the 1 second gap to George when it was like just barely? That, if so, that's horrific. As Mick now drops to P5. What is happening? Mick getting absolutely shafted right now. Did Bottas just like send one down the inside? Is Bottas on the soft? He's on the mediums too. Just sends one down the inside of the chicane. That's wild. Absolutely wild. Sainz does not get DRS. Bottas will get DRS, as well as we do on to Valtteri. Valtteri's on the mediums as well. That does not bode well for us. I guess it'll all come down to whether or not Bottas is on the two stop or the 1 stop. Although I'm pretty sure if you're starting on the mediums, they're likely doing the 1 stop, besides Mick. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. The field is spreading out a little bit. Sainz is really losing time now. Those softs hitting that 60% mark. Start to slow down a little bit. It'll be interesting to see if Bottas is able to get by Carlos here. As wow, Mick going way to the inside. I don't know about that decision, Mick, but I appreciate the thought, as Bottas is gonna try. He tried to get around the Ferrari, as now we're losing time to George Russell, which is less good. And now George is going to be free to chase after Pierre in the lead, as we are now trying to battle past Sainz, as he will be looking to pit in the next couple of laps, but at the same time getting by him would be beautiful if we could make it work. Valtteri doesn't look like he's going to make the move there, as he looks like he might here down the inside, but can he make it work? Going side by side. It's going to go back to the long right-hander that Sainz is going to have. Tsunoda spinning, poor Yuki. That just splits up the field even more, as they went side by side pretty much the whole way there. Ooh, Mick having to think. Thought about trying to get one in there. Sainz still not pitting, likely pitting next lap if I had to guess. Maybe they're trying to go a little longer. Tire check says 56%. Bottas gets the move done. They're gonna go side by side again. Yep, Bottas gets the move done. Mick now will be thinking about trying to make the move, as he tries there actually to go the long way around the long right-hander. Not sure it would have been the right move, but it was definitely a sign of aggression, which we are appreciating, as that gap to Russell and Head had bloated to 3.5 seconds. It's absolutely crazy. Sainz still not boxing. Content to settle in behind. We could probably hop on board and try to get by Carlos here, but at this point, as long as Bottas doesn't get too far away, if Bottas starts to pull away a little more than we would like, we might intervene a little bit, as Mick is trying to get past Carlos here. If he doesn't get DRS here, which it doesn't look like he is, if he doesn't pit as well, we'll throw it into overtake. We'll hop on board, watch it. We're on. I'm probably not going to make the move here, but might get blocked out and not make the move hot here either. Not exactly the idea I had in mind there, Mick, but I suppose do you, I guess. The rest of the field is kind of getting away, and you're stuck behind a soft tire runner on 50% versus you're well into like the middle portion of its stint medium tires. All right, he finally pits. Mick gets DRS, and we can finally try and put in a little pace and catch Valtteri. DRS right here will definitely help, but Valtteri is well up the road on the same tires, and Mick has consistently not really had the pace. Well, this lap we'll see if Mick is able to put in any amount of time into Bottas, although it'll likely be a little bit of time thanks to the DRS we got from Carlos pitting on the previous lap, but we will see as Pierre sets a new fastest lap of the race. Leclerc comes into pits. Mick runs 0.2 faster than Bottas. We'll see if he can do it again on this lap. Interval 2.1 seconds. I mean, we're boxing in the next 7 laps, so you know that'll be what it'll be at this point, but we brought it down at least a 10th this lap, which is good. To make our way here through the final couple of corners. Once again, here at the Hungaroring, here was a 126, Bottas 129, and Mick a 128, another 10th and a half right there. Brought it down about at slightly below 2 seconds. So we are making headway a little bit. We could try and deploy a little bit, expend a little bit of energy to try and close up that gap as we near our first pit window, and then potentially trying to stay in DRS and harvest it all back. I mean, so far doing that, I mean, wasting the rest of our battery, we close up another half second. So we're close. We just continue just to dump battery here in the first sector. Maybe even throw it on aggressive tires just to get within DRS. Once we get within DRS, we'll be able to, if we can get into DRS this lap, which it looks like we might.
We need to charge it.
Oh, it's gonna be close. Who made a mistake? Oh, we're not gonna get DRS.
Someone's run wide.
Magnussen, Kevin. Oh, Kevin ruined it for us. Oh, Kevin, why you gotta do this to us? We should be able to close up the gap here in the first sector with our deployments. Yeah, well on our way, well on our way. I should go ahead and throw it into harvest. Back down to standard tires. And then balanced fuel as well. Carry us forward, Valtteri. Carry us forward. I hope. I mean, DRS here should hopefully allow us to close back up into, you know, a standard length, especially with the back-to-back DRS zones. Granted, the second one's rather short, but it does close us up enough. see. What's the gap from Pierre look like? About 22 seconds for a pit stop. So it looks like if Pierre were to box, he would come out right behind the Norris, in between Norris and Vettel, which is sounds about right. I'm gonna go ahead and start pushing his fuel a little bit. Oh, Mick, I was not paying attention. That is my fault, my guy. All that work to get back into DRS, and I stopped paying attention. That one's on me, my guy. That one's on me. Just keep going. You have the pace over George. Bottas definitely has the pace over Mick. But at this point, I think it is what it is. As Pierre extends that gap to about 6 seconds, give or take. As Mick enters his pit window, where would he come out? Oh, that's a lot of traffic. I mean, they're looking at 33, looking at coming out around P10, 11, which is kind of like in this group, right? Yeah, you're looking at coming out right in all this traffic. And they've already made a stop. So I'd either rather... I mean, I'd like to just yeet these tires and create a little bit more of a buffer. And potentially coming out in all that traffic. I mean... this is looking tough. If it really is 22 seconds, which I feel like it never is. I mean, honestly, even if we come out behind this group, we're gonna have to make another stop. I don't know. That's the problem. I don't know. Someone made a mistake. Who was it?
I think we've had a car.
Magnussen running wide. That slows him down a little bit. Bottas on. They're all about the same. Is Bottas doing the one stop, or is he doing... he's doing the one stop because he's on the mediums. I want to carry on for like just a little bit longer. I want this to sort itself out just like a little bit more. Either that or allow us to like push forward just a little bit more. I mean, Mega's gonna have DRS now. He's doing a max, it's fine.
Sounds like a spin.
Drop back a bit.
I'm thinking about converting Mick. I need a box.
Save
Mick.
fuel.
Yeah.
Box the slap, Mick. Box the slap.
Box, box. Box, box. Pick of them.
Copy. Box the slap.
Oh, Pierre, my sweet, sweet boy. You're definitely boxing at the end of the next lap. Go ahead and... I really wish on the screen you could say next lap. Really do. I wish you could say that. Alright. Oh, they're both in. I mean, Bottas is definitely beating us out, but... yeah. We were never holding that position. Our pit stops are atrocious. Gasly is in. George Russell also in. Gasly will come out in P1. Beautiful, beautiful, and still 5 seconds in front of one Russell George. Mick, on the other hand, we need to make some moves and some schmoves. Bottas in on the one stop. We need to break away from him ASAP.
Use energy.
Yeah, I'm okay pushing with Mick to try and break the DRS to Bottas. If we can break the DRS to Bottas, I think that'll help us a lot, as our mission here is entirely just to disappear versus these guys. If we can catch Verstappen, that's actually perfect. Get DRS from him.
Car in the wall.
Copy.
Never mind. The safety car. No, we just boxed. All right, we're making a call. Yeah, we're making a call here. We're making a call. We're converting Mick. I mean, it's still a two-stop, but we're getting risky here. We're getting risky. I'm gonna hope that.
Energy's good.
Yeah, copy.
Sorry. Easy dub, not me talking to myself. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Hey, I made a decision.
All okay on fuel.
I didn't realize you were here. That's on me. I've kind of just been me most of the night, and so I've kind of gotten locked in. Not gonna lie. No, you don't understand. A lot of these guys are on the two-stop,
Loads of energy.
which means they're stopping again. Which means I don't have to stop again. Track position. Yeah, I just woke up. Brag about it. You just woke up. It's like in the middle of the morning, right? It's like still super early for you, right? Like, I'm not crazy. I'll stand that. It's 4 a.m. your normal time to be at work. Okay, that's fair. So I was gonna say just woke up, still the middle of the night as far as I'm aware. All right, I need Pierre to disappear. I need Mick just not fall back. I'm sure you probably did, and I can check right now. Did you see my my message in Discord about how the proof that you really are the problem, by the way? Yeah, Mick has a little bit of work to make up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people who are on the two-stop.
I think there's been a lock-up.
So realistically, we're looking at a net P4 right here, especially with all of them bunched up. I think we're looking pretty good, actually, as long as we can keep pace and potentially move up a little bit.
Was that a lock-up on the track? Haas
Yes,
with
that's
an
why I called
overtake.
you rude. Fair. I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, Mick is already back up into P7. So realistically, I think we're still fine here. We're still doing A-okay. And what we do need to do is get by Leclerc and Perez relatively on the short quickness. Because the longer we sit behind them, the farther ahead everyone else is getting. Oh, that's why I called you. Dude, I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, it's just facts. Like, when you're not here, things go well. And when you are here, things don't. I don't understand. If I knew... I know your setups have been really good, but at the same time, again, when you're here, things don't go well. And when you're when you're not, we have 1-2s by 20 seconds. Also, the universe definitely can just tell when I'm mentioning you, because after I sent that screenshot, and see, look at all those stops. When I sent that screenshot in Discord, immediately after there was a safety car in which the whole field got bunched up, and so we only won by like 10 seconds over the rest of the over the rest of the field. So the universe knows when you're even like potentially in the fold at all. Yeah, I'm sure that's it. That's definitely it. But yeah, no, honestly, I was talking about this in the last episode or the last round, where we have to start seriously considering how early we're gonna lock up the constructors at this point, so then we can completely just dump developing the car this year, dump everything I have into research for next year's car, and so we can go goated back to back. I think before this one, we're exactly doubling up Red Bull, 142 to 71. So I think after the summer break, before Spa, I'm gonna actually sit down and try and do the math and see when we could potentially lock up the constructors for the season. Because I think it's coming up a lot quicker than people are necessarily realizing, especially with the poopy points that we have. The poopy points are gonna be our savior for like a super early constructors win. Alright, Mick is still not catching what's his name? Not the same on tires. Alright, now we're slightly catching. Pushing on fuel, beautiful. If we could take away a double podium from Mercedes, I'm all in. Nearing the DRS. Within the DRS, closing the distance, making the move, trying to make the move, chose the worst time to try and make the move.
Mercedes moved up a place.
All right, we have caught one Valtteri Bottas, and I think in about a lap or two's time, we'll jump on board with Mick and try and ensure that we're going to be in position here. Van Dorn in the bin. Always been in the bin. All right, we're gonna be ready. Not yet. Not yet. Who done it? See, if Stroll gets strolled. See, if you're actively trying to figure out how to use your black magic powers, it won't work. It's only when you're like genuine does it actually do that. All right, Mick, doing it right there really isn't what I needed you to do. All right, this is effectively for a podium for Mick. We need him to just put in the third sector of his life and survive turn 1 and turn 2.
This will be the last lap.
All right, Pierre, literally just don't bin it.
Okay, energy's good.
This isn't Among Us. Yes, it is. All right, Mick is literally gone. Go on, the lad. Just go ahead and just put him on the shelf for good. Mick Schumacher fastest lap incoming on old hard tires. I think so. That's going to be another podium, double podium for Haas. denying of some points
Checker flag.
to Mercedes. Mick Schumacher on the third step. Pierre Gasly wins another race this season. Absolutely wild. 2 seconds on the last lap to Bottas. Beautiful stuff.
Okay, so that's
And the fastest lap. And the fastest lap on the old hard tires. Our car is
brilliant.
flying.
Thanks for the pick up on the way in. Well done.
Our car is crazy fast. Love it. I'll watch the podium this time because I didn't watch it last time and I feel bad.
A brilliant performance from the Haas driver.
A brilliant race from the Haas driver. Can't blame you now. I know, we discussed this already. You tried to use it, which is your biggest problem. Pierre Gasly, we literally didn't really see much of you the entire race, which is a beautiful sign. George Russell, same with you. Mick, we were on you pretty much the whole way. Got a 1-3 with you here, so it's not me. Yeah, that's definitely what that means.
A sensational
Keep it, yeah,
achievement for
that's,
that Haas
yeah,
driver,
100%. That's
has to be
definitely what that
said. They'll
means.
be absolutely ecstatic to finish up there.
Attaboy, Mick. Attaboy, Pierre. Not a maximum points weekend, but about as close as you can get without it. Great
You've
stuff.
got to say it was a solid drive from all three of them up there. A fantastic showcase for Formula
I would
1.
definitely say
This
it's a
is
great
good
showing.
result for Haas. More than enough.
First place in the constructors again. Look at that. 56 points Pierre has over Mick. He has 66 points over Verstappen. Verstappen is going to have to win 6 races in a row and a second, with Pierre scoring 0 points for him to overtake Pierre in the drivers. That's 7 race weekends, and this was round 13. We're getting very close to Pierre locking up the drivers. In the constructors, 13 points go on the head of Red Bull, as we now stand 84 points over Red Bull on the year. You know, I knew we were going to be quick this year. I did not know we were going to be this dominant. I haven't even really done that much development in the last few races. It's really slowed down. I did lose out on something. It was the quality thing. Yeah, qualifying position. Pain, suffering, it's all I know, because Mick decided to qualify P7. 11 out of 13 wins go to new side pods. Let's go. Currently, mid-season board review. Target position 3rd. You wish. Try 1st. Target by 2028, it wants us to win a Constructors Championship. How about next season? How about 2025? How about that? Goated.